What is happening, my people? We're back again with another video, and today, man, I actually want to show you how to make dark melodies for future. There's tips and tricks that I've never showed you before, and I really wanna, share with you all of the knowledge that I can possibly share with y'all. So if you're ready, man, let's get into it. But first thing first, bro, let's run the preview, man. Yeah. Alright, if you're ready, let's get into it. Alright, I actually already made the melody, but I'm gonna break it down for y'all step by step, each and every single element that I use. So as very first element, I use these keys because I wanted to start with a counter melody, and as you can see here, we're using these ones from Analog Lab. They're actually stock, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, we're sitting at 125 BPM for the tempo of the melody. As you can see here, this is the piano roll of the counter melody that I told you about. Now, the very first thing I did was to set the piano roll on 1/3 B, and this is literally the melody of the counter melody. It's very simple, very repetitive, but it's on fire, man, trust me. And as y'all can see, very simple. Now for the second element of the melody, I use these keys right here, which are still from Analog Lab, which are called Release. And this is literally the way I used it. I kind of followed the vibe of the counter melody that I showed you before, but it still gave it its own kind of piano roll. Yeah, very fire, man. Really gives that kind of retro feeling. So fire, man. And this is the way these two sound together. Yeah. Fire. Yeah. Very fire, bro. Now, next and third sound of the melody, we're still in Analog Lab. Bro, I'ma keep telling y'all, Analog Lab is goated. Trust me. Also, the stock presets, they are so fire, man. And I'm also gonna keep saying this to Arturia, bro. Reach out to me. I'ma sponsor you properly. Like, actually fuck with your shit. You feel me? Like, hit me up, man. Anyways, bro, now, for real. The stuff from Analog Lab is so fire, like the stock presets, they're goated, bro. Feel me? And as you can see here from the piano, I only added these two very long notes, these 2 bars long notes, and it's simple as, bro, very simple. As you can see, it is kind of to support the melody. This is the way it sounds with all of the elements that we got so far. So yeah, really to give body to the melody, you feel me? Now at this point I felt like I wanted to add some sort of strings in the background, and we're here in Xenology using these small strings. Very simple, bro. As you can see, man, very simple stuff. Like pretty much, man, the only actual 2 piano rolls in which you add different kind of, sequence of notes and stuff is only these 2 sounds over here. All of the other ones that I use, that are just there as a very long, straightforward note. And trust me, the melody, oh my goodness, man, it came so far. So at this point I felt like I wanted to add some texture to the melody, and I'm here in Omnisphere using these chaotic finger bells. As you can see, they give a lot of texture to the melody. So clean, man. Very simple stuff, bro. So basically at this point I pretty much had all of the elements that I needed for the melody, so it was just up to me to add the sounds just to kind of fill it up a little bit. And this is the next sound I use, which is another bell pretty much. It's very simple, and it goes like that for the entire 4 bars. And then as very last sound that I use in the patterns is this piano right here, because you can never miss with the pianos, you feel me? And we're here in Keyscape using the Wash piano, which is an acoustic piano. Dark as fuck. Oh god. Fire, man. And pretty much these are all of the elements that I used to come up with the melody. I've also added some other stuff and also some other tricks that I'm gonna show you very soon, but these are pretty much the foundational elements. Now at this point all I did was to actually render out all of the patterns. So basically these are all of the patterns, as you can see here, as I'm expanding all of the tracks over there. As you can see here we have pattern number 1. Then we got pattern number 2, which includes these 2 audio clips, which I'm gonna break down later on why there's 2 and not just 1. And then we got pattern number 3, number 4, number 5, etc, etc. So as you can see here for pattern number 1, this is the audio clip, but I've actually played around a little bit with it. So the first thing I did was to reverse it, and then I've also stretched it. So this is the way it sounded before. And this is the way it sounds now. How dark is it, man? How greedy. So the first thing I did was to reverse the polarity, fade the stereo, and then swap the stereo. And then I've also reversed it. Now, as you can see here, we don't have, like, we can't see anything from here. So I had to move it just like this. And this is the way it sounds now. As you can see, this is exactly how it sounds now. Which sounds weird, bro, I'm not gonna lie. But then I've also done a little bit of processing as well. And as you can see here, we got the RC20, in which I used the vinyl 1 preset, but I took out the noise. And I think I've also reduced a little bit of like the range of frequencies over here. And then we also got the stereo enhancer. And then the last thing I did was to actually slightly increase the pitch of the sound by 40 cents. And this is the way it sounds now. Whereas this is the way it sounded before. You see, it sounds a little bit different, but the thing is that it is not a full semitone. It's like as if the root note of the audio clip is sitting between C sharp and D, so it's like really in between. And then we got the second pattern, which is this one right here. If y'all remember, yeah. So what I done for the audio clip of the second pattern was to actually reverse the sample like this, and then I pitched it up 12 semitones, but actually it had been pitched up a further 12 semitones, so of a total of 24 semitones. Just because if you look over here in this piano, normally it will be positioned over here, but if you put it over here, it automatically increases the pitch of the audio clip. And then of course, if you further pitch it up 12 semitones over here, it will go another 12 semitones. So that's why it is like basically 12 and 12, if you get what I'm saying. Then another thing that we got in the processing of that audio clip is 2 off times. As you can see here, they are literally set in the default preset. And then another thing that I did was to actually stretch the sound, because originally it was like this, but of course it didn't really sound too good, so I stretched it out like this. As you can see, man, this is pretty much all of the processing that I've done for the majority of the tracks. Now, moving on to the next sound, this is the piano roll of it, if you remember. Yeah, this is the sound that I showed you before. And all I did for that audio clip was to just reverse the sample. Like, this is the way it looked before. And this is the way it sounds now. Very, very simple, man. It ain't nothing too crazy. And then for the strings over here, this is the audio clip that I've then come up with. And if you look at it, I've just reversed it and played with the stretch of the sound, because previously it looked like this. As you can see, very, very basic. But then I stretched it out like this. As you can see, man, like, it ain't nothing too crazy. And then for the last 2 sounds, they're actually still the same exact sounds that I showed you before. So this one here first, which is the texture that I told you about. And then we got the bell that I showed you before from Omnisphere, together with the piano from Keyscape. This is the way they sound. They're still sounding the same, if you remember. Yeah. Now at this point, this is literally the structure of the melody. The only thing that I added is this accent right here, which sounds like this, which is pretty much a reverse bell. I think I've also pitched it down a little bit, yeah, as you can see over here. And also one very last thing that I did for the second 8 bars of the melody was to pitch up this sample right here. On the next 8 bars, it sounds like this. Just to give a little bit of variation to the melody, but this is overall the way the melody sounds. so fire, man. I'm gonna lie. Alright, man, let's get into the drums. Alright, we're gonna set the tempo of the beat at 130 BPM. Alright, let's start with a snare. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one. Yeah, very simple. Yep. We're also gonna put a counter snare. Yeah. Let's go with this one. Yeah, man, pretty much this is where we're gonna be starting from. Now we're gonna have a lot. We gotta spice it up a little bit, you feel me? Yeah, this shit crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Fire, bro. Man, everything make fire. Alright, let's put the hi-hat. You know what, man? Let's put the open hat first. Let's put a hi-hat. Let's go with this one. Fire, beat, man. I love this shit. Alright, the very last sound that we're gonna add is this perk right here, man. You already know, man. One of my favorites. You feel me? Alright, man, let's listen to the drums, man. They be going hard, man. Damn. Yeah. Whoosh. Yeah. God damn. Alright, this shit crazy. You feel me? Alright, bro, let's get into the arrangement. As you can see, we got the patterns over here. So what I'm gonna do is to get rid of the 808 for 4 bars over here. Yeah, I might even start the beat like this, you know. Yeah, one thing that I want to do here is to actually put some higher rolls. You feel me? Yeah, man, this is gonna be the beat, you feel me? Simple as only hard shit, you feel me? Hey, by the way, if you wanna get the same exact drums that I'm using, link down below in the description, man. Going crazy. Alright, bro, thanks a lot for tuning in for today's video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about the beat. If you wanna get the same exact drums that I used for today's beat, you already know, link down below in the description for Supreme. Bro, I'ma let you listen to the full thing. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram at Stepuz. Bro, I'ma see you on the next time. And let me know what you wanna see next, bro. Bye.